Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A, where we go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, so it has been a week. A lot of stuff going on. Obviously went to WrestleMania last weekend, so that took up my whole weekend last week. And then, yeah, just a lot of stuff going on right now. Trying to get everything I can done. I do apologize for any extra noise that might be tonight. I have some nieces and nephews over, so we'll see how it goes in terms of the loudness in the background. But other than that, let's get started. So the first big news today is going to be about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Tab. So this is possibly a tablet version of the Fold. So the Fold, we have here is essentially a tablet, right? When you open it up, it becomes a tablet. But this isn't that. This is a much bigger device that is a full-on tablet that folds into a smartphone. So these are essentially the dimensions, kind of like a regular smartphone, and then when you open it up, it goes to a full 10-inch or even larger tablet, to a full kind of size. Now, my only problem with this is of how the folds currently are done compared to how they would be done with this. The thing I like about the Fold is actually it's a lot more durable and harder to break than other smartphones. As of right now, you have your foldable screen on the inside. So it's actually very difficult to break it because of that. However, the whole thing... sorry, my son's smart robot kind of heard me, and it came alive because I was charging it. That video will be coming soon, Miko. But yeah, so...
What an interesting question. I'll have to ask my inventors.
And that is over there. All right. But we'll see how this goes, because the whole idea behind this is that you would have the pen in between when it would be closed, but then your rear screens would always be on the outside. So I just don't know about this, because from this part, it does look like it goes in the other way, but I just don't know. Is it able to fold both ways? Is it able to go both ways? Or is it really just going one direction? So that's really the curious part of it all. I don't know. If it's like this, I would be very worried about the foldable display getting damaged a lot more easily than the current foldable display is, that are covered. Like Samsung's Flip and Fold both are covered when being just in your pocket. But in this case, it would actually be exposed. So I'm very kind of curious about that. Very curious in your guys' thoughts on that. If it could close the other way, which this is kind of hinting that it does, but it's not clear if it can close all the way or just kind of give you a curved display kind of look to it. Really something that, yeah, I'm not sure about. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. All right. In other news, we are seeing leaked images of the Pixel 7a. This is all but confirmed to be coming out at Google I/O. We expect it to be. Very, very hopeful that it should come out soon with that. And yeah, I'm just excited about this phone. I cannot wait to see it, come in probably around $349, $399, and really just with the latest processor. The biggest thing about this phone that's so curious to me is that what is it not going to have that the Pixel 7 won't? Because the Pixel 7a essentially will have the same processor as the Pixel 7. It might get the camera upgrade, it might not. But if it does get the camera upgrade, it's kind of like, so yeah, it doesn't have the image processor separate, so that is something. But at the same time, like, I just don't get it. Like, I really, it would be such an interesting thing to go from a $600 Pixel 7 to a $400, so $200 less Pixel 7a, and like, what really are you losing? Especially if the rumors are to be believed that we might get wireless charging from it. I mean, yeah, maybe you might lose like 2 gigs of RAM, but I mean, I think that wouldn't be missed by most people, I would say. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. All right, and this one is very interesting, and it makes me want to get a Chromebook again because I have not had a Chromebook for a little while now. But this one is a very interesting feature. Google Photos app on Chromebooks apparently now has a video editor. It's a very simplistic in its way. You know, you have transitions, you have kind of base things, but this is pretty big because of the fact that as we get more things built in to it, whether it be editing, auto editing, you know, just being able to do certain things, it really is something that it's like, oh, this is awesome because it's going to allow for Chromebooks to do more than they currently can. The biggest downside about Chromebooks right now is their lack of video editing, their lack of advanced gaming, which you can use things like NVIDIA GeForce Now, things such as that nature to play on online versions of the games, and RIP Stadia, and basically a lot. But I would say video editing, accounting, and gaming are the three weaknesses when compared to regular Windows. So if they can start closing those gaps on them, I'm very curious on this. Now, the best video editing app for Android, I would say, is LumaFusion. That one is the best overall one. It's a one-time fee, and once you've bought it, you have it permanently. So it's really good for that. It's not like, say, Adobe Premiere where you have to pay for it every month. And the best video editing app, in my opinion, by far, is for the past few years has been DaVinci Resolve. Now that one did land on iPads just this past year, earlier this year actually. So I am very curious to see if that will make the transition to Android as LumaFusion did. LumaFusion started off on iPads, then came to Android last year. So I'm very curious to see how that will go. But yeah. I may have to turn that thing off. We'll see. All right.
I don't know. Maybe the answer is on another planet.
Okay. Let me see. Hey, Miko. Turn off. Oh, now it can't hear me. Hey, Miko. Turn off. Now it can't hear me. Whatever. Got too many things listening in my room. All right. 3 Samsung employees reportedly leak sensitive data to ChatGPT. So I recently did a video on ChatGPT on how you can get it on your phone. It's very useful for its uses. However, the biggest thing is that 3 Samsung employees were trying to give it information because ChatGPT is better the more information you give it. So like I was just basically going to my friends, and we were talking about like certain documents you can give ChatGPT, and she was learning that you could actually give it a script and say write a script in this same like vein basically basically for this product now. So the more you give it, the more it learns and the better it can do. So these Samsung employees were basically trying to kind of make their lives easier, giving data about the products to ChatGPT to help them on what they're trying to figure out. And when they did that, of course, ChatGPT now has that information that is supposed to be private, and it's sensitive information. So ChatGPT essentially leaked information to it. Now we don't know if ChatGPT, OpenAI essentially has done anything with this information, but they have it. And Samsung is actually the one that caught this and was like, "You guys cannot use ChatGPT, especially when it comes to sensitive information, because you literally just you you copied and pasted or typed sensitive information to an outgoing system that they don't control. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing, and it's just something you should think about, that when using these services, you are opening people, or more than likely not people per se, but AI, to be able to collect this data. So just be very careful of that. You don't want to say like, oh, yeah, write a whatever for whatever. I'm just gonna do an old Ryan Reynolds. Write something of Ryan Reynolds' social security number. Like, you don't do that. He's Canadian. I don't think he has one anyway. But like, that is the biggest thing, is like, you don't give very sensitive information to these AI, because it is collected. So you should know that going in. But yeah. All right. And then the last bit of news was a bit of a sad news for me, and that is that E3 was canceled. Now, this was announced last Friday, but it was sucking for me, because I was going. It was going to be my first ever E3 that I would go to. I was going to be like, yeah, I finally get to go to E3 after all these years. I finally get to go to it, and I'm so happy, and it's gone. So yeah, it's very, very just sucks. That has anyone in the chat ever been to E3? I wonder, because that's one event that I'd always wanted to go to. I thought was so cool looking growing up, but I never got to. And unfortunately, I don't know if I ever will, because I don't know if E3 will ever come back now, because of all the pandemic stuff. So it's a sucky situation. But yeah, I don't know if E3 will ever come back at this point. We'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, but that is the news for this week. Now let's get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. All right, Z Fold tablet, let's go. Yeah, I'm very curious on everyone's thoughts on a foldable tablet like that. I'm also very curious on how much Samsung thinks they can charge for that one, because I feel like... Hey, Miko, turn off.
I am switching off.
Finally. Got too many robots in this place. Too much AI. What can I say? Too much AI, even for a tech guy. But yeah, let's see. What was I saying before that? Now I forgot. Oh yeah. On like, how high will a tablet of that kind of thing be? Are we talking over 2,000 now for it? Are we talking like 2,400? And how many people would buy that at this point? Like, I'm scared of the price point that a tablet, that a foldable tablet would be, for sure. How are you doing? How was your Sunday? Good. Basically, went to the first ever time with my son to the movie theater. Saw Super Mario Brothers for a second time. Saw it yesterday with my daughter. Had a lot of fun. It is an awesome movie. The critics are idiots, and I have a thing about movie critics. I feel like, and this could be all critics in general, and that includes myself. You could think of me as a review tech critic, right? But it is something where I feel like if you don't reassess yourself, or take yourself out of the situation as much as possible, you kind of lose sight of the general public. And what I mean by that is that, like, I feel like someone, say, that's as high up there as like MKBHD, or like the highest tech reviewers out there, maybe even Linus, I'm not sure, but might have a hard time, like, oh, what do I care about this smartphone? Like, it's I use 10 other smartphones out there. Why is this one so special? Well, this one's perfect for vlogging. It's like the best vlogging phone out there, and I'm going to do a video on it. But those are the kind of things that, like, I feel like movie critics, when they rate a movie bad, like, I don't see how you could rate Super Mario Brothers bad. I really don't. It is a good movie all around. It gives you exactly a Mario movie you would want, and it doesn't. It's a fast pace. There's no slowdown. It's really just well done. It's really well done, and I absolutely loved it. And so I tried to think like, well, maybe they're just like, well, we've seen so many movies and this one doesn't do anything new or different. And it's like it didn't. It just needed to be a Mario movie. It needed to hit all the tropes. It needed to give the nostalgia feels. It needed to, do some original stuff, which was like hinted at before, but this kind of really cemented some really cool stuff in the Mario universe. And yeah, it was like I don't know if I could have asked for more, except for more of my favorite character. There is 2 after credit scenes, and my favorite character is in one of them. But yeah, so other than that, though, I don't know what you could have asked more for it, but I think it was something that's just like, oh, well, it's the same thing as like an Illumination movie from before, the same thing, kind of stuff. Like, I can tell you from my 12-year-old to my 3-year-old, the kids loved it. I loved it as a person who started with Super Mario World as a kid, and I'm sure if you started with, or the GameCube ones like Sunshine or Super Mario 64 or whatever it was, like wherever you started with Mario, this movie, if you've played Mario games, you will love it. I could see maybe if you didn't ever play a Mario game, and kudos. That I don't know many people that have not at least played a Mario game. Whether even it be younger kids nowadays that have played the phone version, like I don't know that many that haven't. But it's just such a big world there, and I can't wait for what they do, especially because like it was so successful. It beat Frozen 2 for the biggest animated global opening ever. So it's getting a sequel for sure. Like, and it's going to start a video game universe for sure with Nintendo. And like, I thought it was so awesome, but I do always try to kind of think of that. That's why you don't see me do many reviews. Because unless it's something that I really feel is so different and that I can contribute a very strong take besides just when I talk to you guys, I don't do many reviews. I really don't. I rather tell you guys how to use the device or tell you guys why it's really good for this situation. Like I'm going to do with this Sony phone, right? Really good for a vlogging camera. This has accessories to it that make it the absolute best vlogging camera, and it can even act as a screen for a Sony camera. So if you're an influencer or a content creator, awesome for that purpose. But it just, those kind of things, like I always try to correct myself with that, and I think movie critics are probably the worst at doing it because you see it. You see it when movie critics and regular everyday Joe Schmo loves it, and the audience rating is completely different from the critic rating. And I feel like it's a lot of times that they're just like, oh, well, it's the same old stuff we've seen all time and time again, but as long as it's good, who cares? So yeah. But yeah, so just a little bit of that. Xander World Review. No, I have not done a Xander's World Review, but that will actually be, my son will be making a cameo in that video, so that will be on there. I'm waiting for Google to make a foldable phone. The Pixel Fold is supposed to be announced at Google I/O, according to the rumor mill, and then come out, but we'll see when it does happen. That is a very interesting thing. A Chromebook video editing app. That is interesting. It honestly really is. LumaFusion is on Chromebook. Video editing is not an issue now. I thought LumaFusion was only on certain Chromebooks, but not all of them. I could be wrong. I honestly do not own a Chromebook myself. I haven't used one except for when I use my daughter to help her out with her homework. But yeah, I don't use Chromebooks all that often. So if it is, let me know if that's on every Chromebook device. But I thought it was only a limited, like LumaFusion came to Samsung smartphones. It then later got opened up to more Android devices, but I didn't hear it got opened up to all Chromebook devices. I thought that it was only a limited amount of Chromebook devices as well. Could be wrong, but that's again what I remember in January, because I think November's when it only came out to Samsung devices, and then it slowly came out to other Androids after that by January. So let's see. Make a review on the A54, buddy. Uh, so I just got it in. I just bought it and it just came in on Friday, I think. So just got it in. Just got the phone, a case, and a screen protector for it. So I will be doing the main two videos that I do for every Samsung phone: how to set it up to make it faster and better. How to make it faster and give you better battery life, and also how to take better photos with it. In terms of review, like I just said, I'll probably be talking about it in about 2 weeks when I'll get to this one. I have a lot of phones to get through. I'm finishing up with the Sony. Then I have the OnePlus 11, which I finally got in. So I'm going to be doing that after the Sony. And then after that, I'm going to be doing the A54. So try and do one a week at least. But yeah, so everything is coming. But the videos will come sooner. And in terms of a review or an overview, I might do that after 2 weeks, but I have to give it time before that happens. Oh no, ChatGPT has information on the 51st date question. Samsung. Hey, shameless plug time. Yes, if you haven't heard in a lot of my videos, yes, I have a 51st date questions app that I created. It is a fun game to play on a first date. You ask them a question, they ask you a question, you find out about each other and find out if you're compatible or not. It is going to be available on Android and iOS. Links in the description. All right. The trailers did look pretty fun for Mario. Honestly, it was a great time for sure. Any truth in the Galaxy Watch 6 being released around August 25th? I mean, that's definitely around the time it's usually released. The announcement is going to be early August, most likely. The announcement of the announcement will probably be at the end of July. And then, yeah, we find out and we go. That's how it usually is. Do you think we'll get another companion robot like Jibo or Vector soon? I love the concept of Jibo. Well, it's funny. Miko, the one I'm talking about, and just wanted to throw there themselves is kind of a robot like that, but it's geared more towards kids. So just so you guys can see what it is. This is what I have. It's a Miko. It's a Miko. Yeah, so I have actually this specific one right here, this red one. And yeah, it's a pretty cool AI powered robot for kids. It has a lot of fun. You can do a lot of different things with it. My son is on the younger side of having it, so he can only do so much with it, but he loves like what are called the Miko emojis or something like that. Miko emojis. So that one's pretty funny, and he gets like a real kick out of it and things like that. But yeah, there are starting to see more concepts like that, but I think they're starting to be geared towards specific things. Instead of a Jibo, which was an all-around kind of assistant, this one, for instance, is more kid-driven, right? So you have certain things that are basically being highlighted for kids. You can control with a parent app. And, of course, there's a subscription for the year to have it. I think it was like $100 for the year for the subscription to have it. So that would be it. So, yeah, that is going to be it. All right. So yeah, let's see. I really like the leaked pictures of the Z Flip 5. Oh yeah, we didn't get to talk about that last week, but essentially the new Z Flip 5 is supposed to, the whole screen almost with the exception of the camera is going to be a screen now on the front, which is really good. It's funny because it looks like they're changing the flip more than the fold. In this case, like we haven't really seen or heard much of a change on the fold besides the hinge, which I'm sorry, like I do not care about the hinge. I really don't. I don't care that it doesn't close all the way. There's a little U opening here. I don't care. I don't. Like I just do not care. And by the way, if you have a case, it's probably going to have an opening anyway. So I just, yeah, I really don't care about that hinge. I rather get better cameras and get my S Pen inside, which it doesn't look like we're going to get it this year. So yeah, maybe there is a chance, honestly, that like I'm going to turn this phone in right when the new one comes out. There is a chance that instead of getting the Fold 5, I maybe get that Fold tablet because it's something different. And yeah, as of right now, the Fold 5 is not interesting to me. The Flip 5 is more interesting because of its bigger screen and its bigger changes. So yeah. Did you preview Blue Beetle? I did. I am excited about Blue Beetle. It's for those who don't know, I am Latino, so it really it's cool to have like a Latino superhero. It's a very rare thing. Um, but yeah, so I think it's gonna be cool to see it. I'm very curious to see how they'll go. The Blue Beetle has a very interesting history in terms of being both bad and good. So it's a very interesting to see how they'll go. But at the same time, it's like it might not even be like the whole thing about the current DC movies coming out this year, right? Shazam 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. They probably will not have anything to do with the upcoming DC cinematic universe. So I don't really know if I care as much because of that. Now they're saying, well, there's a possibility they could be joined in, maybe, but I don't know if it will be. All right. Would you like an AI like Kit from Knight Rider in your car? I know Tesla does something similar to that. So I would just want Google Assistant or Bard, possibly. For those who don't know, Google Assistant is basically done with in terms of they are no longer going to really develop it as much because they're putting all their resources into Bard, the AI version of Google Assistant, really. So it's a very interesting thing that's going to be a huge shift. So are we going to then get the Bard in more places where we actually get AI being able to answer us back kind of like a Kit AI? It's a possibility for sure. I think it still will be limited in what you can do, but I mean, Google Assistant was going towards that way in terms of being able to be more of an assistant, right? Like there was a Google Assistant show a couple 2 years ago where you could make a reservation with your Google Assistant and a Google AI robot would call the restaurant, would do and ahs and oh well, like talk like that, and it sounded like a real person. So that being said, I think we are going to get something like that, but I think it will be evolved versions of Google Assistant and Siri, which Google Assistant really looks like it's going to be more like it's going to be called Bard. And the Bard is basically things that helped you with writing with and all that stuff in the past. So that's the wordplay they're doing with that one. Do you think Samsung will bring back the SD card on their Galaxy models? I hate to lose the use of my 1 TB card I use on my S20 Ultra. That's the only thing keeping me from upgrading to the S23 Ultra. I understand. Unfortunately, I don't see it coming back. The discrepancy between built-in storage and SD cards is just too great. It's too great. SD cards are only really going up to 100 megabits per second to 200 megabits per second. I don't even know if there is a micro that goes up to 200 megabits per second, whereas internal storage is in the thousands. I forget if it's more than 8,000 now or something like that. Like it dwarfs the fastest micro SD cards on the market. And that discrepancy is too big for app crashes and issues that happened basically when people put stuff in a micro SD card, and it's just because it slowed down the entire system. So that is why they were getting rid of them. It just because it made it a more fluid system. So do I think they'll go back on that? No, I don't see that happening. I really just think it's gonna continue to be. Now, do I see it kind of staying around in mid-range models? I don't think it matters that much in mid-range models, unless they just because like yeah, I could see it staying with the A series, but not with the S series, more so. But yeah, I don't see it coming back to any flagships. I honestly don't. They're gonna make 1 terabyte versions instead of it. So yeah. Thanks, quiet, Rudy. Uh, Wait, Rudy, did you ask a question? I just saw things quiet. Um, let's see. Are there any good vlog cameras that are car dashboard mountable? I believe Rudy's looking for one at the moment. Oh, got it. The best one I would say is the GoPros. That's the one I used. In terms of it, GoPro, I did only a few videos of it, but it was it was the only one that I would say the stabilization was good enough. You have no idea how much your car shakes, I swear, until you try to film with anything in there, because it really is. Sorry, one hair is bothering me. That it really just shakes like crazy. So like I used a GoPro Black 9, I think is the one I have. I think they're on 11 now, right? So GoPro 9 Black. So you don't need to get like the latest and greatest, right? You can totally get a used one on there, no problem. But yeah, so these are like $299 now. Is there one even cheaper maybe than that? And they're on 11, right? But the 9 was, I think it was either the 9 or the 8 was the first one with the screen on the front. And you could probably even get these cheaper used or renewed or whatever. But that one, its stabilization cropped in so much, but yet it was so ultra wide that it basically did it so it could be cropped in. GoPro allows you to stream. Yes, you can live stream with a GoPro. Although I haven't, I remember they did have a live stream capability on there. Don't ask me how much that would drain the battery quicker and all that kind of stuff. So it could definitely be something when it comes to that, for sure. But yes, you could live stream on a GoPro, but I don't know how much it would cut the battery down. I did, yeah, see, the 8 Black didn't have the front screen, whereas the 9 Black did. So that was why I bought the GoPro. I was just like, man, I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to be able to do it. And by the way, this is what the show I was on, House Hunters. This is what they use. These are the cameras they use to mount in a camera, is the GoPros, because again, just the stabilization is so good. So yeah, so I would definitely recommend it. The GoPro 9 Black is probably the one I recommend. It's the one I have, and the reason I would recommend it is because it's the oldest one with the touchscreen on the front, so you could see yourself. Oh, sorry, not it's not. I don't think it's a touchscreen on the front, but it is a front screen, so you could see it more easily when you're recording yourself on there, and yeah, really good for that reason. Let's see. What's the best way to get more storage without an SD card in your phone? Unfortunately, there's not like a really great. Or wait, I missed some. Whoa, a bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. So I will get to the other questions because there's 2 other questions before that, but let me just answer this one since I started with it. What's the best way for more storage without an SD card in your phone? Probably like a dual USB. dual USB flash drive. That would probably be the easiest way to do it, just to load stuff on and off of there. I have this one, and I have a 512 version of it, which doesn't cost that much really for the storage amount on there. So it's under $40. That's the last time I bought it, you could see. And yeah, I have this always with me, and just if I ever need to load off some storage, it's very simple and easy. So this is a 512 gigabyte flash drive, and they do make an iPhone version as well, by the way. All right. Let's see what else. Let me go back. I know I missed some questions. Okay. Would you like to see a Marvel DC crossover in movies? Yes, but I don't feel like it should happen until the end. Like when the cinematic universes have done everything, right? They've done every kind of, for Marvel, we've done Null, we've done every big bad there is out there. We've done Beyonder stuff, we've done everything. When it gets to that point, and when we've done the New Gods, we've done all that kind of stuff, Dark Side, we've done Brainiac, all those kind of the big, the guy's name that I can't pronounce his full name, but it's Spotalik, Mitso Spotalik or whatever his name is, who's like a fifth dimension being or whatever. All of those, I will say, once we've done all that, then yes. But at the same time, like, what version will be there? Like, is Tony Stark coming back for that kind of crossover? Are we getting the gang back together? The Avengers gang back together for that? That would be great, but then we have to establish the DC characters. So just like James Gunn said about that question, where there's been talks about it, I think that's down the road for sure, 10 years plus, 20 years plus maybe even. And I think it would be a completely different group at that point. What are your thoughts on WWE merger? I want Vince out, just like everyone else. Fire Vince is the biggest thing in the WWE right now. I want him gone. The story should have finished. I tell people all the time, can you imagine Daniel Bryan not winning? Can you imagine Kofi Kingston not winning? Can you imagine Steve Austin not winning when they need to, the big one? And for those people who say, oh, well, but what if he just goes to WrestleMania or SummerSlam later this year? If Vince is in charge, there isn't that long-term thinking. And that would be great if there was, but there's not. So, yeah, just no, I don't buy it. And I don't buy that they'll like, okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then The Rock says, oh, hey, I'm available. They wouldn't scrap it, and there would go. So, yeah. Let's see. But they have SD card support on tablets. Yes, and tablets don't need to be as fast as phones. If you think about it, with the exception of, I think the last Samsung tablet, the Tab S8 series brought it back, but Samsung tablets had always been a year or so behind on even the latest processor on the market. And that's because tablets didn't need to be as fast as phones. People use every day and all that kind of stuff. But tablets, the only thing people really use it for is for gaming and more than likely to watch videos. So it's not as demanding. Gaming certainly would be, but the top games don't allow you to move onto a micro SD card because they don't want any issues. Now, again, could you make the argument, well, but that slows the whole system down, right? That's what you just said. So why is that okay? The truth of the matter is while it does slow the system down, it really is something that people don't mind as much on tablets because it's not your main thing compared to a phone, which you really need. So yeah. Um, let's see. When will I get a flip iPhone with under display camera? Ooh, 6 years from now? About? I think you'll get a flip iPhone within the next 3 years. I think the next 3 years we'll get a flip iPhone, but I don't think they're going to start off with an underneath camera display. I don't. I think you're going to wait for that. So I would say closest estimate would be 6 years. Do you own your own VR headset, and do you recommend one? I own, or I should say, I have in my house two VR headsets. I have the Meta Quest 2, so obviously the standard one that I would recommend for most VR users, and I have the PSVR 2, which is far better in quality in every way in terms of visual and usage. Like, it just feels better. It's awesome. But it's tethered to the PS5, which you have to own a PS5 to, and it doesn't have as many games. So if I would recommend one, I would recommend the MetaQuest 2, but they're probably going to come out with a MetaQuest 3 within this year. So I would definitely wait. My recommendation is to wait for the MetaQuest 3 because it will come out this year and it will be better than the MetaQuest 2, which is dated at this point. So I think an upgrade from the MetaQuest 2 will have a much faster processor, possibly more storage as well as these VR games get bigger. So yeah, I would say I would wait. Um, I just want to mount it to dash and plug it in. So if you do like for the GoPro, just so you know, you have to like either open the door or some people take the door off of the GoPro if you want to charge it while using it, or you can get like the oh man, is my GoPro in here? Nope, I don't think so. Oh, my GoPro's in there. No. Maybe in here? Oh, there it is. All right. So this is like the attachment to the GoPro. It's like a studio attachment because it gives you a much better mic. So you could either use an external mic right with it, or you could just use this shotgun mic, which is 10 times better than the built-in audio that you had with it. So the thing that this one allows you to do, I forgot the name of it. It's like a studio or creator something or what other name, but it has for one a shotgun on there that's really nice and big quality on there, and I don't know if I can take this off. I'm not sure. All right, so you have that. You have a cold shoot up here for it, and you have a cold shoot over here for it, so you can mount external mics, external lights, whatever you could kind of need in that scenario. But then also on the back, you have a USB Type C. So this one you can charge while using it, and you also have an external 3.5 mic out too, right there. And then you even have a micro HDMI. So this gives you all of those connections onto the GoPro as well. All right. Car charger could cultivate the power problems. Yeah, leaving it charged at all times could give it issues for sure. Oh yeah, the Windows tablet. I did not forget, Rudy. I just haven't been able to. But I did save two uh, earlier today. Let's see if we can just load those for you. And I'll get those loaded for you. Okay. So Rudy was asking for a laptop that's lightweight, easy to take around, and just do basic stuff if I remember correctly, Rudy. I don't remember everything you had asked for, or you were asking for a lightweight Windows computer. I did say probably the older Surfaces, but then when you said Best Buy, I searched it on my phone, so I haven't gotten a chance to really search it on my computer, which I can obviously do a better search for. So this was the lowest one. It is refurbished, but it's a 14-inch 2.2K, so really high resolution screen that you probably don't need, but it has it. AMD Ryzen 7, so good battery life while having a really good performance. 16 gigs RAM, 512 SSD, Windows 11 Home, and I think this one had a weight of under 4 pounds. I think, yeah, 3.4 pounds. So this one is 3.4 pounds. So I'll go ahead and send you this one. All right. So that's the first one. Then there's this one. It is a pre-owned, so that would mean it would be an open box. A 14-inch, again 2.2K, probably again better resolution screens than you need. This one has actually a really good processor, more same RAM and even more storage. This one is 607.99 cents. And this one was, I think, lighter even than that. It was 3.13 pounds. So very lightweight when it comes to it. Now, comparing to like a Surface, I think a Surface would be under 3 pounds. I think it would be closer to 2 pounds with that. But those are two that I can think of off the top of my head. If you give me, like I said, about an hour or so after this episode, I'll probably look for some more. I just hadn't gotten a chance to look at my computer yet, but I did look at my phone earlier today for you. I just haven't had a chance to look at my computer yet to give you some more ones. But those are two right off the top that would probably serve the purpose. I mean, 3.1 pounds is really light. And again, it has absolutely everything you need. And I'm not sure if this is over budget or anything like that, but really good. I mean, really solid computers you can use for a lot of things too. So yeah. All right. Got the Samsung Buds 2 Pro. Thanks for the advice. They're great. Awesome. I'm glad you liked them. I'm glad to hear they're good quality. Right now, I'm actually testing out for the first time one of this company's products, which is Nothing. So Nothing, let me see their earbuds. So really nice looking ones. Very interesting design. Obviously, if you hadn't seen them before, they're like clear, transparent earbuds. Really, really good audio quality. The call quality, I had a bad call, but I had a bad call even after I was on my regular phone and not the earbuds. So I will have to check out the call quality again. But I will say their sound quality is really good and quite comfortable in the ear as well. Excuse me. Samsung is also an advertiser of their SD cards that they sell. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they do sell a lot of memory, but they've also are going to cut that down a lot too. So yeah. What about folding Lenovo? When is it available? There's been folding Lenovo laptops for a while now. Sorry, well, yeah, laptops in terms of like it's a tablet that unfolds into a full laptop screen. Like Lenovo had like a 17-inch one. Yeah, Asus and Lenovo both have had foldable ones. I did stuff for the foldable ones on Newegg actually on their channel last year. I think that was Asus's, I want to say, but Lenovo definitely had a competitor to it as well. What are you hearing about the Pixel 8? Nothing actually. It's been kind of quiet on the Pixel front in terms of rumor mill right now. We'll see. It's more talk about the 7A and the Folds because the 8 isn't going to come out till October. So I wouldn't even say that they have that entirely done yet. Let's see. How goes the progress on the kitchen video being done? So I haven't heard back from Samsung yet, so who knows? It might be a lost kind of thing, but we'll see what it is. Um, what about the folding Lenovo? When is it available? So again, I think the Lenovo is already available. Like, well, versions of it, I should say. They have a lot of different Lenovo's. Like they have a dual screen tablet that was just, it was literally like two screens, and then it also had a keyboard underneath it. It was trippy. I saw it at CES. So that one isn't available yet, I believe, but let's see. So they just did announce a bunch of different laptops too, like the one that you mentioned, the 9i. Um, so I don't really see anything about the new 9i. That's a new one. Let's see. It's funny. I don't think they have their foldable here. But yes, Lenovo definitely had a foldable that was out last year, and they have a bunch of Legions as well that are just announced. This one's one of the newer ones as well. Their Evo line. They also have. I mean, they have a lot of different ones right now. They have a 9i, a 7i, a couple of different ones that they previewed for me like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I haven't seen all of them. But very curious to see, how Lenovo will compete this year. Um, these are very lightweight, ultra like portable, take around kind of thing, but they're also pretty expensive for what they have, in my opinion. Just for like, I don't know. I get it. The 13th gen is something new and very fancy, but I don't know if I would pay that much for some of them. i9 or something. 9i, yeah, that's the dual screen one. And then how do you like the One Plus 9? Or sorry, the One Plus 11. I like it. I haven't gotten a chance to play with it too much. From what I used, it was just as snappy as ever as OnePlus does. I think again the biggest thing about OnePlus for me was always that they don't differentiate themselves as much as I feel need to in order to succeed in the mobile industry. But I don't wouldn't say there's much bad about it. The main thing for me this time around will probably be the camera. That I mean, if there's anything that I'll really take a look at as a camera, because that was the biggest thing with that I was very always like underwhelmed by was the camera before. But I have heard the 10 I did not test out. I tested out the last one plus I tested out was OnePlus 9. I did not test out the 10, and this is the 11. So I did hear that the 10 had good camera improvements, and the 11 only polished it better. So we'll have to wait and see. What do you think about WrestleMania this year, and were you happy about the outcome of Roman Cody match? No, I wasn't happy. I was there. I was there live at WrestleMania. You could check out my Instagram and Twitter for a bunch of photos I posted. No, I was very not happy. I was definitely deflated at the end of the night. It was probably the worst outcome possible. I was talking about it earlier that basically, can you imagine if Daniel Bryan didn't win the big one at WrestleMania 30? If you didn't, all of these different ones, Kofi Kingston didn't win. If Stone Cold didn't win on Shawn Michaels, like all these pivotal ones. And the worst part is that to me the bloodline story is boring now. Unfortunately, it's just like, oh, it's gone on too long. It really has, and I just like, you know I think the everything would be more interesting if Cody won. If Cody won, Brock wouldn't. Brock would have a reason to go after him. Roman has a reason to go away for 6 months until SummerSlam. You know, all of these big things that like are now going to happen would have been much better. To see the ending of the bloodline, to see the issues that they could have, would be so much better if Roman had lost too, losing it, all that kind of stuff, way better. Dual foldable tablet with keyboard and stand. Yeah, that's one that I saw at CES. I don't have my phone with me. I say I don't have my phone with me looking at a table full of like 6 phones. But yeah, they did have one at CES that I took a picture of and took a look at. I don't know if I still have it on my phone though. I take way too many photos. But yeah, I definitely did check the Lenovo one out. It was really cool, the ability that it had there. But yeah, I just didn't get to do as much content as I probably would have liked on it. Yeah, I don't see it exactly off top. But it was a really cool thing to be able to see what Lenovo was coming up with. There you go. I'm pretty sure I posted this on my social media too. But yeah, there's the tablet. Let me turn the brightness down a little bit. But yeah, there it is to kind of see that it was dual screen tablet with a keyboard. Really nice looking. But yeah. No one can dethrone the tribal chief acknowledge him. I know Vince acknowledges him, just saying. But yeah. But yeah. All right, guys. I think we will come to an end. It is 9:30, and Quiet Storm did give me my warning that I don't want to make the family mad. But thank you guys so much for always tuning in and always watching. I do appreciate it. More content will be coming out this week. And yeah, if you haven't checked out my last video, make sure to check it out. It's how to take better photos and videos on any smartphone you have right now. Go ahead and take a look at it. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Try it out. And it's one quick tip that I always have said to so many friends, and I always think that everyone knows it, but it turns out that really a lot of people don't. So if you do this one trick, it's one thing you have to do, and you will automatically get better photos and videos in every time you take them now. And share it, please, because this is a video that I think everyone should know about. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.